Welcome, minions of the UnderTube. Now, narrator, if you will.
A hideous sham of a town, in which the prosperous citizens have no gripes or moans. Sadly, even the children are happy and secure. This is because they aren't punished for non-existent crimes.
Then we shall endeavour to empower a corrupt commission to facilitate the provision of gripes and moans. As for the children, I feel a special inquest is in order so as to ensure the ample supply of superbly superfluous crimes. Hopefully, such machinations will leave the land in a disposition as pleasing to thy eyes as the previous domain. That ought to make the preening avatar squirm in his precious palace. And lo, we begin another capricious campaign of carnage, and as before, we must devote time to basic layout. Dig out faux 3x5 rooms from the faux openings conveniently placed around thy heart, in preparation for the rooms and creatures to come. We may only have but 3 rooms to pick from thus far, but fear not, my maniacal minions, for more will be made available to us in due time. As with the previous land, make areas for rooms before mining gold, as money is of little concern in this land. Curse these wretchedly imperious imps. As a being of imperial standing, it is most disconcerting having to occasionally share skull with such low denominator of life. I would rather share thy mind with a dastardly dwarf. At least their thick skulls keep ambiguous ambient noise to a minimum, even if they are garishly good do-gooders. However, fast expansion is an imperative of any successful dungeon keeper, and as such, a keeper's got to do what a keeper's got to do. But do remember to be slap silly with them. It'll stop the taste of musky imp from sticking in your mind quite so much. Damn you imps! I can only stomach to be in one of your minds at any one time. As previously advised, build thy treasury in the opening formed by the mined gold, so those impetuous imps waste not their time coming and throwing. Now our coffers are refilled, it is time to build our rooms and claim this land's portal. Why the delay, you ask?
An entrance has been claimed.
That is why, my mercurial minions. The training room hath been made available to us, and as the name suggests, it allows our creatures to progress their savage skills beyond the average, and if you had claimed the portal before all else, you would have quickly found yourself with an irritating infestation of beetles and flies. Yet it is the demon spawn we wish to acquire. Demon spawn should be considered as your most boringly basic of combat creatures, given their predilection to training and purifying your dungeon of zeros. However, ensure enough space for them and 3 imps, for when an imp reaches level 3, they can cast haste upon themselves, which will vastly increase their efficiency in all things impish. Finally, slap training creatures from time to time to increase the rate at which they progress, and of course, for the jovial joy of it. And be sure to expand your training room as necessary. But not so large that your dark army consumes your entire monetary supplies. But that is not particularly a concern for this land. More concern for realms of the not-so-distant future. I only hope for that future to be full of suffering, malice, and pain. One can only but dream of a never-ending nightmare.
You've tunneled into a new area.
So, we have found the first of our hidden treasures of the underworld, this one being a more literal treasure than others. Each pot you see equates to 500 gold coins, which in turn equals a tremendously tidy profit for us in our evil plans. Now excuse me as I go motivate thy critters.
You have taken control of a new room.
At this point, it should be noted that a 3x3 treasury can store in the region of 9,000 gold, when it has reinforced walls, and each square of gold mined will yield approximately 1,000 gold, so plan accordingly, my methodical minions. Don't forget though, A non-reinforced or open plan treasury can only store roughly 5,000 gold, so in this particular case it is prudent to ferry the excess gold to your first treasury. Your imbecilic imps may think you are saving them the work, yet it is but the enactment of the delicious sin of greed. A bile demon would be proud if it had the constitution to eat gold. Once again, we must ensure the continued motivation of our creatures through physical chastisement. They love it deep down in their dank and dark hearts, really. Now it is time to expand our dungeon's capacity to cater for our creatures, and they'll increase in number, for it will not be long before our lurid lair is full of not-so-languid creatures. We don't want them to become leery creatures now, do we? Bah! I hope these zeros have come better prepared than the last meek bunch of bigoted fools from the previous land. 'Twas laughable, their ludicrous efforts.
Creatures need a bigger lair.
I am more than aware of that, my nascent narrator. But first I must administer my attentions to these critters. The enigmatic enemy draws closer. I can all but smell the ridiculous righteousness in the air, but I'm sure that will soon be supplanted by the aromatic aroma of ammonia. And that is what we shall do, my nasty narrator, for money is of no concern in this land. Don't forget to build connecting tunnels and doorways between your rooms, so as to increase the efficiency of your dungeon. After all, the less time your creatures spend travelling to their lair and hatchery, the more time they can spend training.
The enemy has broken through your walls.
Let battle be joined! Oh wait, hang on one imp-dangling moment, 'tis but a daring dwarf! Ha! Let the slaughter commence is what I meant to say. Oh look! He brought a few forlorn friends with him. This is turning into a fun day for all the family. How delicious! More fertilizer for the topsoil of our hatchery. Our creatures will be happy. Now, back to training for you all and slaps all around for a job well done. What is this? The enemy grows more brazen by the minute, but their stupidity remains obstinately the same. How predictable. As you can see, the only real use for a fly is for exploration. They are free to. They are also free to die.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
Well, this looks to be a battle that requires no oversight.
Your minions are winning a battle.
Well, of course they are.
Your creatures are under attack.
But what's this? That's one for the books. This group of humorous heroes almost won a small skirmish. Ha! Deal with this.
Your minions are winning a battle. Your minions are winning a battle. Beware, the Lord of the Land.
Does he now?
All that is good, we shall defeat you.
Will you now? Well, I am a most gracious host, so I will gratefully provide a suitably spawned reception for his eminently imminent fall from grace, as I disgrace him in death by ensuring the defilement of his dead body. How delightfully deprecating. But first, we must pay our creatures, for after all, we cannot expect them to dispense with the lord of the land purely out of evil righteousness. If that's not an oxymoronic statement, then I don't know what is. But take heed, minions, for only foe creatures can engage an enemy at one time. The others will simply hang back and cheer on your combatants. How emboldening of them! And how very easy that victory was. Now there is but one thing left to show you, minions, and that is the pathetic portal from which the Zeros issue, like uninvited house guests. These portals may lack the aesthetic appeal of ours, but knowing is half the battle. How they expect anyone to read this is beyond me.
Darkana. The surviving citizens have more on their plates than a demon spawn with 3 dead adventurers to munch. Not that many citizens have survived as such.
Excellent indeed, narrator. That ought to make the work of the commission that much easier. Now, minions of the UnderTube, be sure to return and like this installment.